Hey y'all, it's your girl Jocelyn, aka Joss Boss, and I made it to Hollywood. It is so crazy to say out loud because I have yet still processed that this is my new reality. I always knew that I would end up in LA. Even whenever I first came here 6 years ago when I was 20, I always felt a strong calling to LA. I just never knew how I'd end up here. And definitely now being here and going through what I went through, I would have never imagined it this way. Yeah, let me rewind. The last time I vlogged was whenever I graduated Artist Inc. Now I am okay with sharing my story and my truth, but once I told and shared with people what I've been going through the first quarter of this year at my screening, at my presentation night, huge mental cloud cleared. A weight was lifted off my shoulder. It felt cathartic to just put all these complicated feelings and emotions into a film that I produced, directed, and acted in, and then showing it in front of an audience. Also, just upfront say I am a domestic violence survivor. And I remember leading up to that point, I was so afraid and ashamed. Whew. I could go way into that, but yeah, I just definitely learned that adversities do not define us, they refine us. And I definitely am blessed in the sense of who I am as a person, and regardless of what life throws at me, it doesn't change my character at my core, which is beauty out of ashes. To go through the pain wholeheartedly, headstrong, and feel it, learn from it, and don't let it harden my heart or change who I know I'm meant to be, my best self. And so it's my third week of living here in LA. After my art presentation, at the time I was living with my cousin Alyssa. Shout out to Alyssa, love you. After the presentation night, I was applying to jobs, nothing was sticking. I was applying to residencies, but I kept getting rejected. And at that point, I was on NPC mode too. I just could not believe what I went through. To heartbreak, to grief, to just experiencing so much change in such a short amount of time. On top of that, insanely creating 2 short films and going up in front of an audience, telling them my truth, telling them everything that I've been through, but I was hiding it because I felt ashamed and fearful. But this year, I got no fears. The time is now. Like my girl Arbany always says, if not now, then when? Whenever my cousin told me, she sat me down and she told me that I have 1 month to move out, which means I wasn't gonna have a home. I was gonna be homeless. There was no home to go back to. Yes, I have a great group of friends that love me, and even Anna housed me for the first 2 weeks getting out of that situation. But I can't burden my friends. I'm grateful that my cousin gave me the space to heal, give me a place to stay as I went through Artist Inc. But man, when she told me that, I was on shit. I gotta figure shit out. Where am I gonna go? I only have 1 month to move. I was reflecting and I knew that I wasn't gonna be happy staying in Houston. Although I love Houston, I will always be a Houston hottie. I just knew I was capped there, and also the place I feel has hurt me, I can't heal from. That's whenever I was this is it, now or never. I gotta pack my Toyota Camry and drive on over here to LA. And so that's exactly what I did. I remember I was posting everywhere, hey, I am planning to move to LA within the next month. I was looking at studios. I was mentally prepared for the worst. I was ready to live out my car. I was ready to live in a crummy studio for super cheap. I was ready for the worst, right? Because I would rather, rebuild my life in a place that I end up wanting to be in. Yeah, it worked out. Luckily, posting on social media and having a great community around me and support. Sublet. Shout out to Joseph. he hooked me up. He connected me with his former roommate, Alethea, who was wanting to sublet her apartment. That was it. It worked out. I am now in Hollywood. I'm super grateful for the people and the love that I have been connected to and receiving from. That was definitely something I had to learn the hard way going through the recent hardships, was definitely accepting help. And it's okay to ask for help. You'll be actually surprised how many people are willing to help you if you just ask. So that was definitely such a big learning curve for me, and also embracing the fact that sometimes, yes, we just have shit circumstances. The cards of life sometimes don't play in our hands. So packed my Toyota Camry, I packed my whole life in my car, and then me and Anna drove cross country. 24-hour drive, by the way. Now I'm here. I love my place right now. I finally feel like I'm able to have some stability and have some space to heal, to kind of slow down finally, because I do have a tendency of being a workaholic and hustling, that is in my nature. But now that I'm here and high-key broke, I am finding the beauty in mundane and simple things. So just staying at home, cooking, driving through California and looking at the sunset, going to the beach, finding free things to do. It doesn't cost a lot to do something for yourself, and that's something that I am currently working on, and expressing more self-love to myself. Because yeah, I will say, who doesn't stress about finances? Who doesn't stress about the next gig? Who doesn't stress about the next thing? But I'm definitely more present now than I've ever been before. In the metaphor, I like to express what I'm currently going through, or what I've been through, or the state of mind I'm in. I like to use an ocean metaphor. So I will say there was a giant storm that I went through in November to December, and then a huge second wave of that storm hit in February. And on top of that, actual storms hit Houston, a tornado and a hurricane. That is crazy. Both a week before my presentation, or a week before I was moving to LA. The timing was crazy. It destroyed everything around me. Of course, it's tiring. I'm just damn, now what? But now it's time to rebuild. And so why not rebuild my life? Or I like to say, expand my life in LA. That's just a little life update. And now I want to give a little tour of my place. I'm so happy and enjoying the present moment, because I cannot believe that this is my life. And of course I can focus on the negatives and what could be better, but right now I have shelter, I have food, I have a car, I am in the land of dreams, and I'm gonna take advantage of that, and no one's gonna get in my way. Not even the people that's been here, okay? I want this bad. I'm finally here. I think my 20-year-old self, or even my little girl self, even young Jocelyn, is happy to finally be here. It does feel like home. It feels like I'm meant to be here. I'm not even homesick. I definitely just feel a sense of peace here. So I'm very excited to see what LA has to offer, the adventures I'm going to go through, and the people I'm going to meet. Hey y'all, and welcome to my crib. My room has been such a sanctuary for me. I honestly barely even want to leave it since moving in. I love that I have high ceilings and a lot of natural light during the day. Whenever I was apartment hunting, I knew I would try to either live in North Hollywood or Koreatown. Shout out to my cousin Abe for letting me crash at his place for a week to actually check this apartment out together. I already had a feeling that I was going to end up living here because I didn't even bother to look at the other places. It was too perfect. I have this charm hanging in front of my door from Amana because I only welcome abundance and love up in my place. Since I'm subletting month to month, all I had to pack to move was just my clothes and some decorative trinkets and mementos. I had to keep it tight and light, but luckily the apartment had furniture in it that was already sort of my style. vintage, oriental, homey vibes. This is my vision board for the year. It's crazy how I've been manifesting it, but I've actually been receiving in ways I couldn't have imagined. In my room, there's actually 2 closets, but the other one is where Alethea stores her stuff. One of my favorite pieces of furniture in the whole apartment is where I store my jackets and accessories. On the outside, it looks like where Mulan's father stored his sword, but for me, it's where I keep my armor, if you know what I'm saying. Next to my sword storage is what I like to call my sneaky link door. Although I don't have any sneaky links, I love that I have my own door directly to the hallway. I also have a roommate, aka famous Japanese movie star named Chikako. You may know her from Terrace House or her newest movie, Juror Number 2. I got super lucky with her as a roommate because we didn't even meet until the day after I moved in. We share the living room, kitchen, and dining area. We also have a guest bathroom, so we both get to have our own bathroom. If she's not home though, I love playing jazz or house music on the TV. Since it's Cali, I actually get to open up the windows for fresh air. And yes, the kitchen is actually being used. With these LA prices, you learn real quick how to cook at home. Well, thank y'all for stopping by my LA apartment, and I'll catch up with y'all real soon.